Wow. Wow.
Hello and welcome to the Cavern of Terror.
I'll Always Know What You Did Last Summer stars Brooke Nevin, David P. Cal, Tori DeVito, Ben Easter, Seth Packard, Casey Clyde, and is directed by Sylvan White. It only took me 8 takes to get that right. I'll Always Know What You Did Last Summer starts with a prank gone wrong. Now we have a fresh set of faces for the Hookman, or the Fisherman, whatever you want to call him. He sends a lot of text messages. Yeah, he's that guy. This installment serves as a sort of sequel slash reboot to the first 2 I Know films. So was I'll Always Know What You Did Last Summer a step in the right direction? Was it the right move for this floundering franchise? Did it correct the flaws of the first sequel and revitalize this franchise? No, not really. No, it didn't. Okay, let's start out with the good, because guys, there's a lot of bad here. I'll be the first one to tell you that I actually like that they went in a supernatural direction with the Hookman character. No, not that supernatural. Who keeps playing that clip?
Bitch.
Although, come to think of it, this version of the Hookman character actually is a worthy opponent for Sam and Dean, because essentially he's a ghost. Unfortunately, with that said, that's basically it with the good. I've said this before, and I'll say it again. I never go into a film ready to go for the jugular, but guys, this movie is bad. The opening scene of this film alone takes the Hookman, a 1990s slasher icon, and turns him into a complete joke. That cheapens the first 2 films, which are like Scream and Scream 2 compared to this one. I think that the director and cinematographer watched way too many Saw films when this movie was in production, because they're in love with flash editing. Unfortunately, that combined with bad writing and bad acting equals a really rough movie watching experience.
Gonna have a bad time.
But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's continue to talk about the cinematography. The cinematography is completely different and way too polished. In a way, I understand, because this is technically a reboot, but I just can't get behind it. It lacks the atmosphere of the first 2 films. There's no grit. This one feels like it's part of a completely different franchise. I'm so confused. I mean, it's supposed to be the start of a new chapter, but it's connected to the first 2. But in all seriousness, guys, I actually feel like this is Sci-Fi Channel Presents
I'll Always Know What You Did Last Summer.
Seriously. Part 3 in the I Know series has a major problem with its characters. A lot of that, I think, I have to blame on the sloppy writing in the first act. The weak setup for these characters leads to a 0 care factor to anyone, especially the main character Amber, played by Brooke Nevin. We have no connection with her. She was really hard to relate to. You know why? Because no one likes her. Her backstory was barely fleshed out and her performance didn't help. Listen guys, I'm sure Rachel from Animorphs is a lovely woman, but here, unfortunately, Brooke Nevin was just not good. Really, none of these characters are likable. There's that first act again. Don't worry, the cliche horror characters are here, but they're so bogged down with bad writing and strange editing that I really couldn't make a solid connection with them. There is one character that I have a major problem with. This guy. Played by David P. Cal, Colby is basically Ryan Felipe's Barry character from the first I Know film, but not nearly as well portrayed. He's the one that decides to keep the prank a secret. He's the one that freaks out on the lead when she's not sure about keeping the secret. He's a complete douche nozzle, and he narrowly escapes the killer only to be taken out later. Does that remind you of anyone? Barry! Does that sound similar to you guys? Colby isn't the only thing that this film hijacks from the original. The secret-keeping scenes are almost mirror images of each other. Okay, one of my biggest issues with this film is the new setting. And there's no water, like, at all. A fisherman killer and no fucking water. Really? Okay, keep it together. The Hookman, or the Fisherman, or whatever you want to call him, is basically a wraith-type character now. There doesn't have to be water for him to be around for this to make sense. He's more of a symbol than a guy. He stands as sort of a consequence for wrongdoings. But yet again, it wouldn't make sense if this took place in a fishing town or an island like the first two, where it makes sense instead of a mountainous area with literally no water where he looks dumb as shit. Moving on, there's way too much downtime. This movie drags in its pacing, and it feels twice as long as it is. It felt like it was a 3-hour film, and guys, it's only 92 minutes. Did I mention that there's dream sequences? Thanks for asking. No, they're not good. They also did something strange with the killer, where they added sound to signify his presence. Let me tell you right now, that doesn't work. The Hookman character was much scarier when we didn't know he was coming. Either way, we always know the killer's around. That's the point of this franchise. I mean, come on, look at the titles. I know. I still know. I'll always know. His presence is always there, and it brings the tension. Well, at least in the first two films. It's a matter of not knowing when the killer's going to attack. Speaking of tension, the transition shots here break any sort of tension that they were attempting to build. And no, it's not a good thing. The last thing I want to see after a shocking revelation is 5 minutes of landscape. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, this movie is kinda boring. Okay, I waited long enough. We're 3 movies into this franchise, and there's still no boobs. I don't even think there's a ha moment in this movie. Okay, I'm good now, let's move on. Okay, I'll admit it, I lied to you guys. There actually is something that they have going for them in this film. The Hookman is probably at his most vicious here. Finally! He even impales someone with a forklift. I gotta say it, that's pretty metal. I hate to give a metal claw right before the bad note, but guys, in the end, I'm gonna have to give I'll Always Know What You Did Last Summer a head down. I can understand in some twisted way why they would want to take the franchise in a more supernatural direction, especially after the ending of I Still Know What You Did Last Summer. But why they replaced all the cast and chose a new setting, I'll never know. It's like they're in the Twilight Zone. Guys, this is one of my perfect examples of a head down film. Bad acting, bad dialogue, bad writing, which are basically the same thing, and strange editing that didn't fit with the first two films leads to a strange cloud of bad. Alright guys, that's it. That's been my review of I'll Always Know What You Did Last Summer. I have completed yet another trilogy. What did you think? Let me know down in the comments down below. I've now reviewed all 3 films in the franchise. If you haven't seen my reviews for I Know What You Did Last Summer and I Still Know What You Did Last Summer, I have a playlist called I Know What You Did Last Summer Reviews. I'll be sure to add this one in there for anybody that wants to check out that series. This movie was fun to review, guys. You know how I feel about bad movies. Kinda wanted to get a patriotic horror film out there for the July 4th weekend. I have a question for you guys. Are there any other slasher sequels or slasher series in general that you'd like me to review on my channel? Please let me know your picks down in the comments down below. I'd love to check them out. If you're new to my channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. It helps me out a lot. Hit the notification bell so you see all of my content. This next thing is for everyone, not just new subscribers. I have a very special series of videos coming to my channel very soon. I've been picking out a lot of things for my set for this review. I'm really excited to do all 4 of these films. Here's a little taste of what's coming. Can't wait to finally get my Scream series started. I love this franchise. Wes Craven's one of my favorite, if not my favorite directors ever. I have almost all of his movies, and I can't wait to talk Scream. Make sure you check me out on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and LetterBoxd. I really appreciate it. I've been Zach. This has been the Blu-ray Mountain. Stay metal, my friends.